Okay. So, I'm doing this thing where. Let's just open up a new thing here. We're going to define revenue. Revenue is income that a business has from its normal business activities, sales of goods, and royalties, and interest, and other fees. So all revenue is the money that's coming into the company that's being recorded. And then there's expenditures, and that's the money that is costing the company to be in business, that's going out of the company. And then there's company profit. That's how much the company itself is actually taking in. And then there's an extra thing outside of your expenditures is your salaries and wages that you're paying out. So I'm looking at one website business, one of the best websites out there, maybe something like JCPenney's, Macy's, or Kohl's. And their revenue for their business is like $100 million, $150 million. And these kind of businesses are shutting down, and we're turning into a digital age and a digital empire. And I don't know if we were focusing on how important our future is going towards this thing. So I'm going to bring you down to where I'm at with what is it? My 100-digit calculator right here. So we're talking expenditures and fees and emergency expenses and all kinds of things. So how are you going to figure that into the operation of America? I think, even though I make sometimes around $40,000 a year, somehow I'm spending more money than I'm even making. And just computer adjust it. How that's happening is there's extra expenditures, and the money I'm actually making, my actual intake, my profit, I'm doing all this work and I'm making this revenue for John, me, myself, and I'm having to pay wages and salaries out of my own life, of making my own life revenue. I'm having to pay people to do stuff. And then I'm also having expenses to keep myself running. The gas, the this, that, these different things. I gotta eat. And then my actual profit that I'm bringing in, to say buy new blankets for my bed, buy socks and shoes, to put clothes on myself. Something that's a luxury. That is a luxury, to have some clothes on your back. And to have fit in like an extra pair of headphones, or have a computer updated, or to put shingles on the roof. These little bit of luxuries that require profit from your life to be able to afford these things. My profit is very minimal in $40,000 a year. Outside of all my expenditures and who I have to pay out for salary and wages to operate my own life, John's life, I'm probably able to spend, I don't know, $15,000, $20,000 a year, maybe even less than that some years. Some years it's like $5,000 that I can spend on luxuries to myself. Some years I'm doing a little better, and I figure out a better way to save and avoid all those expenditures. Like avoiding. Oh, we don't like John no more. He doesn't talk to us anymore. Well, it doesn't cost me so much money. I'm sorry. I'm avoiding those expenditures so I have a little bit more profit in my life, to profit a little bit more luxury into John and who he is. So I'm going and I'm trying to figure out, if I'm spending more money than I'm making a year, what is our basis? How are we going to figure out these? How much money should be in America's financial pool that should be circulating throughout the year, and how to pay out those dividends weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, quarterly, semesterly, and annually, and how to divide those payments into dividends so we don't make a mistake and get the money all at once and then we spend it all at once, and then we got 8 months where we can't even survive. So I got this thing where there's 700 million people in America. Our census tells us that. That's all that we could record. And we have to make these records, but there might be even more, but we can't make any more money than what's recorded on paper. So when people don't participate in our census every decade, we're really freaking screwing a lot of people. You're bumming us out because we're only making, for our government's only authorizing us to and allowing us to make only the amount of money for the amount of people who actually live here. So how much money do we make? I'm saying $60,000 a person, because we're going to expense this, expense that. And if we make any more than that, forget, each one of us is going to have a rocket ship in our driveway. We'll be going to the moon. 20,000, 100,000 people going to the moon every day. I don't think it's logical. So we're going to keep things from fluctuating too much luxury to where we're living normal life. And I think $60,000 a year for 700 million people is about that. So we're going to count how many zeros there are. There's 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's 1,000. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now we're at 1,000,000. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now we're at 1,000,000,000. We're at 800 billion. Some odd numbers I don't even understand. We might be able to recalculate with a different calculator to get this going. Let's see what it does. Trillion calculator. Oh, here we go. Let's see what we can get out of this guy. Go 700 million times 60,000 equals so there we go, million. It's like $42 billion or something. 1, 2, 3. So we need to make $42 billion extra currency from what's already circulating, from what's pulled back in, whatever. Gotta pay. When you're getting paid off, that money is disappearing. So out of this $42 billion, 500 people is only worth $20 million. So let's divide 42 by 20 billion, or 20 million. It's 2 million, let's add 0. Equals should be like about 500. Alright. 42 or 40 billion divided by 20 million. Okay, so that's 2,000 people. When it really works out, let's see what it is. Because these are big numbers. If we're off 1,500, we're off a lot. So 42 divided by 20 million. Okay, that doesn't make sense. Now we got a higher number than we did when we did it with the lower number. It's 42 million. It's 42 billion. Okay, so whatever it is, I don't think that's right though. Oh, maybe I did a different thing. Because okay, all our web companies are making is around $100 million a year revenue. Okay. So that's what they're making, but that's not going to explain how much it costs to operate employees. So we got 500 employees times 60,000 a year equals, oh, it's 30 million. I must have got it wrong. So 30 million is what they need out of the revenue, right? To pay those people. They're making 100 million, but they're only paying out 30 million in labor costs. If we have 700,000 or 700 million divided by 30 million, this would be how many internet companies we need operating full time. Oh, wait, no, that couldn't have been right. We don't need 23 companies. We need a lot more than that. So 700 million divided by 500. That would be our companies, right? So we need 1,400,000 operating websites to pay the people that live in our country. Okay, now each website has to make $30 million. Times 30. And look, there's our 42 billion. Okay, this is why we have to keep all the money that's already in circulation outside the money we have to make in circulation. So if we got $42 billion to pay our employees and there's $70 million $70 million we need to buy products to pay our employees times the amount of companies we need. we need, what was that? Is that 100,000 millions, billions? We need 98 trillion extra dollars in revenue on top of the $42 billion in revenue just to pay people to live, eat, and feed and stay close. So, if our country was socialist and treated everyone fairly, and we plus, it would be 98 trillion, $42 billion a year the country has to pay out. Has to. And everyone has to be given equal opportunity to make the $60,000 a year to make it work. That's the only way it's going to happen. But you're going to need 1,400,000 websites to operate 700 million people in this country. I'm tired. It's freaking 10 o'clock. I've freaking been stressed all day. But I thought it was like a fun, problem solving together. 98. Let me just type that in to our notepad. Our country will need to create 98 trillion dollars, or 98 trillion 42 billion dollars to survive fairly without starvation. Don't over procreate with the extravagant opportunity. It might be too expensive. Oh man. So, thanks, Jonathan Road. Today's the 23rd February. #23rd, 2019. Get smart. Come on. That was so funny. Here we go. Alright, we're ending it. YouTube.